Hello, chat. How are we doing today? Back from a bit of a break. Got CK201. Gotta do a bit of a playoff picture show, pretty much. Just trying to see what we got here, because not only is NRC in playoffs, CKL is about to be in playoffs. A lot of stuff going on here in the college Mario Kart scene, and we're just gonna talk about that. Off last week because of I had to get some stuff done. Off the week before because of around the Super Horn and the doubleheader. Speaking of which, we do have a prime time tonight at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, 7 Pacific. It's Michigan and UCSD. That's a pretty important matchup here, really, for both of these teams. Michigan trying to, well, they basically are locked into the 2 seed at this point, but it's a good win for them to get into playoffs. And UCSD, surprisingly, are on the chopping block for, like, are they going to make it in or not? So, big matchup there. Really excited to see what we got going on. So make sure to tune into that. I'm going to end the stream probably around like 9:30 Eastern, just to make sure we got time to get y'all ready to watch primetime later on tonight. Other than that, so we got the updates, NRC, CKL stuff, and then gonna do something a bit different. There's a few matches going to be starting in the next like couple hours. And like, I think D5 is the big one right now because Eastern Kentucky and Wisconsin, Milwaukee are playing at that hour, like at 00, and that's a pretty important matchup for playoffs. Yeah, they're playing. Yeah, okay, so they're playing at 00. Milwaukee and Arizona State play at 10 Eastern, so same time as prime time as well. So D5 is shaping up because it's basically down to the wire there, because you have Idaho and you have UTSA, the Roadrunners, and now you have Milwaukee and EKU playing for that last spot. So really important matchup coming up later, so that's exciting. If I get a chance, we might do a live look in there, and gotta do something else a bit different. I'm probably gonna open it up to get some like callers in, so I'm probably just gonna see if anyone in VC anyone like the CKL General VC, what's it called now? Zay's house wants to hop in a call. You can ask whatever questions you'd like to do then. So we'll use that as a way to end the stream. just a way to get some community involvement and all that. But for now, I think it's doing very good stuff. So let's get in. Want a quick shout out to NRC stuff that's been happening. So FFA finals happened a couple weeks ago. Was not able to cover it, my apologies, but I want to give a quick shout out to all of those who did win in D4. YX League, I am so sorry if I've been pronouncing that name wrong all season, but winning D4 has been really impressive. D4 East finals, so great for them to see that in D4, hoping to see them move on really with the rest of their collegiate career. Where is D3? D3 finals went to Intel, winning it pretty convincing with a 134 win overall. Then you have other great players in D3. You have Beta Brett with the 111, Prism with the 103 rounding out the podium. But really, congratulations to Intel. Over in D2 finals from NRC FFA, Green from UAH coming out with the win with a 103. You have Luxathone in second, and then a tie for third between Jiggly and Ray. Great stuff overall from D2. And in one of the craziest finals, one of the craziest tables you will ever see, NRC D1 finals, Sales, Alabama Sales comes out of nowhere, wins D1 in NRC. The odds-on favorite was Technical coming into that. Technical had a, let's just say, a rough lobby. I've heard stories about what the heck is happening in NRC D1, but it was ugly to say that. So, but congratulations to Sale, coming up, barely clutching it out over Cairo in second place. Milkshake then getting third, a close third place, because both Bagel and Cam were right behind in fourth with a 94. Really, between the top 5 overall in D1 was 101 through 94, so insanely close. Really, any races could have pulled it off. But congratulations to Sales, especially. That's an insane win on their end. Fours is happening as well. So quads, they are having semis at some point. I don't know the status for all of them, if I'm being quite honest with you guys, because the only one I'm aware of is D3 semis, Moravian, 4 International, and then Nebraska. Moravian coming out on top there with a 352, barely beating out FIU with a 5x15 with 337, then Nebraska finishing in third. So both Moravian and FIU will be going on to play UAH in D3 finals for NRC. Great stuff overall in NRC. Want to give a huge shout out to the staff there for helping to run this. I know it's been rough on their end, because a lot of new schools coming in, a lot of stuff that's been happening behind the scenes, but they're holding it down as best as they can. So give a quick shout out to really all of your collegiate staff members. But yeah, we'll save. If anyone has NRC questions, you can feel free to pop them in the chat. You can also feel free to wait. We got the call-ins later on. I'm gonna try and do that if there's any interest, obviously. And once the OO mark hits, is once 8 Eastern, 7 Central, whatever time zone you're in. If anyone has the updates on the matches happening, please let me know. I think I'm gonna check Milwaukee's server to see if they have a bot. Like a bot channel, because if they do, oh, that's gonna make my life so much easier. I can watch that. Oh, they do have a war bot. Oh, that's hype. That's hype. If the war bot would let me watch it. Okay, nice. Okay, so we do have a war bot then for Milwaukee. So the Milwaukee EKU matchup is going to be absolutely critical to watch. We'll get to that later. But I think now we're gonna get a chance to look into the CKL playoff picture, because geez, it's been a doozy. Some of these regular season matches have come down to the wire and then have really just caused a big change up in results. Let's take a quick look over here. I have a Stream Deck now. It was just given to me, so I can use that instead of just clicking on stuff, which is cool. Watch me press the wrong button. As we get the right button, let's go. So D6, hopefully this is coming out okay. I actually can't tell from my own preview. New Mexico State. So not every matchup is played in D6, but if we're being quite honest with you guys, the playoff picture is pretty clear. Because Auburn, I'm pretty sure, has the head-to-head over Coe College. Yeah, they have the head-to-head. So even if they tie, Auburn has the tiebreaker. So it'll be New Mexico State, it'll be BVU, it'll be Auburn. I'm hesitant to say, has New Mexico and BVU, they play again. So NMSU and BVU play again. I have to check the log to see if that table is in, because I think it might be. Let me check. Shouldn't be seeing that. Oh well. Okay, yeah, so that match still has to be played. I think that's one of the ones we are waiting on. I'm checking the log. So we kind of track of that. Unless that table was in and I just missed it completely, which would be my bad if I did. But anyways, any interesting changes yet? Not really. You'll see it in the higher divisions, River. But like D6 is one of those where it was pretty cut and dry. From like you could tell by like week 3 that we kind of knew who was going to be in. New Mexico is likely going to be top seed, depending. Buena Vista has to have a big win over NMSU if they are going to take over that top seed and then win out, basically. And then Auburn is pretty much locked into this 3rd seed. Granted, Auburn, a BVU collapse would be interesting, but I don't think that's going to happen. BVU would have to lose both, and Auburn would have to beat Buena Vista by quite a margin for Auburn to take that 2nd slot. But what doesn't really matter, except from like, I guess, like home advantage, I guess, because BVU and Auburn are pretty much locked into playing each other in playoffs, so you get a chance of what the playoff format is like. So the playoff format in the 16 div, so D6 and D5 is as follows. The top seed moves on to an automatic bye into finals, and then seed 2 and seed 3. So New Mexico State is, the current picture is, it's gonna be, I don't really see a world where they don't, to be honest with you. And I have to wait, I'm waiting on like the tables and everything to be updated really from the staff, but New Mexico State's locked in the 1st seed. So it's basically between Buena Vista and Auburn. Auburn, the big thing here is, this matchup they have one more match against Buena Vista to end the season. I'm really curious on how these teams are playing that. Yeah, it's pretty much a straight shot for D6. I'm so curious for how... Oh, that's being played. That was already played. Okay. I'm waiting on table then, I guess. So Auburn Buena Vista allegedly already happened. I don't know if results are posted yet. If I just missed it. No, we're waiting on the thing. I will check the channel. I'm not sure if I want to do it on stream. Oh. Oh, that's unfortunate. So, by the looks of it, it does look like Auburn forfeit against Buena Vista, which is not ideal, but hey, less scouting for semis. So we got Auburn and Buena Vista playing in semis pretty much, and then New Mexico State lead the way in finals. Buena Vista is kind of the favorite right now. It's really been between New Mexico State and Buena Vista for like the top teams in D6. Auburn has been on a bit of a come up. They've been like the locked in solid 3rd seed. But the big thing there is they finally got coaching, apparently. And coaching is a big deal in CKL and really in the collegiate scene. Any team with a coach, for the most part, will start to do better in a really short period of time. You saw it last year a lot, where teams like Nebraska got really good with some coaching. Oklahoma had an entire like coaching staff, and that helped propel them into like, what was it, number 4 in the country at one point? Like, insane. And now you're seeing it here. Auburn's going to be one of those teams that probably rises to the occasion. It's a matter of seeing, though, can they beat Buena Vista? The earlier on, when we saw that table, it was a pretty rough loss, over 100. BVU has just been one of those dominant teams in D6. But that's a big thing there, so we'll see what happens. Buena Vista is definitely the favorite going into that semifinal matchup, but if Auburn gets a hold of something in that first war, you never know. Especially in the best of 3. This will be the first time I think any of these teams have played in a best of 3 like format. So that's got to be something to watch for. D5 is so dramatic. it's coming down to the wire, and it's one of my favorite divs to watch, pretty much because you have two teams here that are fighting for that last spot. So the cutoff is the third seed. EKU and Milwaukee, they play today. They play in 2 minutes. You like that UI school? Really cool. No bias. Ah, dang. No bias. No bias. No. Don't blame you. Don't blame you. I'll talk about UI in a bit because I got some stuff to say about them and UTSA. But the playoff picture is looking like this. It's EKU and Milwaukee. If Milwaukee beats EKU by like at least 50, they have to win by like 52. Instinct University goes hard. Oh god, I don't want to. We don't have to talk about that river. I understand why, but we don't have to mention it. So Milwaukee has to beat EKU by over 50 to have it by 52 and beat Arizona State to make it in the playoffs. So if EKU actually loses by like 48, they're confirmed in. That's not true. That's not true. They could do that. Okay, what am I saying? I missed it. So Milwaukee has to win this matchup pretty much. If Milwaukee wins this, then I'm so bad with markets. Milwaukee wins this, they have tiebreaker potentially. They won't have tiebreaker necessarily. Easy thing. Milwaukee wins twice, they're in. ASU can play spoiler at 10 o'clock Eastern. Milwaukee is playing right now. I don't know if they started room yet, but we'll get the live look-ins potentially later on. But either way, UTSA is watching this matchup knowing that really, whoever wins this matchup in a few minutes, that's going to be your opponent in semifinals. And UTSA is a really strong team here. Like, dang. One of the most prominent teams, I think, and it really has a really great shot to win it all, but I don't know how much attention has been paid towards Idaho, but Idaho has been one of the scarier teams to watch like all this season. And I think it's kind of crazy because they're very fundamentally sound. And that's something you will sometimes see in like the lower divisions where you'll see like, okay, they don't have there's certain things they're not polished on yet, but the driving is really solid on Idaho already. And it's a common theme in Mario Kart where at the lower level you can just outdrive your opponents and win. I saw Idaho bust out Ninja Hideaway at this level, and I can tell you that there are teams in like regular competitive karts that do not touch Ninja Hideaway. It's a lot of teams don't touch Ninja Hideaway, so being that as like a trump card selection, that is really scary here for Idaho, just to have like any kind of thing there. So I would definitely be seeing Idaho as a threat just from their kind of play. There's also some things I won't leak yet because I can tell you Idaho is going to be a very scary team after Monday night, but all will be told at a later date. Going to this, you thought ASU's locked in third seed? I could see that. The thing ASU had going into this season, there was a lot of, we knew about their players to a point because ASU 1 was already Division 1 for like a couple months. ASU 2 was just a surprising thing to see, but a few things didn't work out their way. And also, I think we underestimated UTSA and Idaho. Idaho was one of those teams that just came out of nowhere, I won't lie. UTSA, the Roadrunners, I had a feeling they were going to be solid, but I can also tell you there were discussions among staff about moving UTSA down to D6 because we didn't know what was going to happen. But we were wrong about both those teams, quite clearly, because it looks like we're going to have Idaho and UTSA. And I'll be honest with you, I think that is the first time we're going to have a finals matchup west with two teams west of the Mississippi River. That might actually be true. Let me think about this. D1 in 2020, fall 2023 was Kutztown, Ontario. So that's Pennsylvania and Ontario. D2 was Michigan, it's half divided, and then Virginia Tech. D3 was Iona and Oklahoma. D1 in 2024, we had UCSD Michigan. D2 was... Who's D2 finals? Oh, Michigan State, Alabama. D3 was FIU, Nebraska. D4 was UWO, Western Ontario. And then New Mexico. Okay, yeah, so Idaho UTSA has the potential to be the first like matchup solely of teams from west of the Mississippi, which would be kind of cool because you haven't seen a lot of representation from like the West Coast in like this scene yet, but I think that's changing a lot this season. We'll talk about that when we get to D4 next. For playing against ASU, they definitely improved a lot since the start of the season. I think ASU is going to be one of those teams that improves crazy in the next few months. Like I see 2-7 here, and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to be the case going forward for them. Arizona State just has such a strong program, like as a whole, so I think there's definitely a lot of potential for them to move on up. Assuming the two-team thing stays, because it's difficult for teams to have two, or programs to have two teams. I've heard rumblings about FIU potentially only having one team next season. I don't know what's the case for Kutztown after this semester, because I think there's some big changes coming their way. And then UCSD is holding on strong for now. Michigan, I think, is also okay for now. But I don't really see any other teams going up to do too. But we'll get to that later. We'll get to that another time. ISU, you can see that sticking. I hope they stick. I hope all of these teams stick around. I think there's a lot of potential here, especially because like the West Coast didn't really have anything. They had a few teams, but they didn't have like so many up until like this season. It feels like there's a lot more West Coast representation now than there used to be, which is cool. It does make it a nightmare sometimes for like primetime matches when we're like trying to schedule stuff and there's like nothing here, but whatever. Anyways, odds-on favorite, I gotta go Idaho. Idaho's just playing so well, and they're playing well at the right time. They don't have the experience necessarily that UTSA has. UTSA did technically play like a season beforehand. They don't have the carry that Milwaukee does. They don't have the crazy time trialing prowess that Kutztown inside lane does. They don't have the first team help that ASU and Kutztown has. Even EKU has more experience technically, but Idaho is really fundamentally sound, and that's going to be what I'm just going to come down to. Just being that solid this soon is really impressive for them. Excited to see this program jump up. I think people were saying they were underseeded. Like, yeah, you can say that 3 weeks into the season now that we actually have data, but Idaho, I think, is going to make a decent jump into, like, maybe definitely into D4. It'll be interesting to see if they go past D4. I want to see what they do here. First off for them is winning finals, because UTSA is going to be a big threat. And because I know UTSA has a lot of depth in terms of like track selections and talent. And then even then, the last thing you want to see is like a Milwaukee team that gets hot. Because if Milwaukee claws their way into playoffs, that means the best player in the division is in here. And and you've seen it in sports. One player can do a lot. And it might not be the same in Mario Kart, but geez, you don't want to risk that. Just having any kind of potential for like a massive upset. And EKU has been underestimated all season. The record might be 4-5, but I can really see EKU call it out. Oh dang, you got okay, that's how you found it. Okay. Okay, I know NRC, I can tell you, you guys probably found out about NRC because through their networking pipeline and their recruiting, because NRC's best thing, I think, is that they actually just sent out a ton of their staff out to different parts of like the country virtually through Discord, and having them just reach out to like programs, and that's impressive. I'll give them that. CKL we haven't really done that too much. I tried. I emailed like 70 schools the fall of my senior year, so fall 2022, but didn't get anything really going. We had like, I think I got a response from like 3 colleges, and none of them are even here yet. Still waiting on you, Kansas State, Baldwin Wallace, and who was that third one? I can check. I don't even think it's my school email anymore. Oh no, I don't have my school email anymore. This is bad. Okay, I gotta check the Milwaukee game because dang, that is a important matchup to follow. Are they not showing it? Ah! Oh no, it's in. Okay, it's in a different server. You're another team that has the band problem. Oh my god, no. And there's quite a few actually that have that. So Idaho now has it. One of Georgia's like top 6 players is inactive the entire fall because of marching band. Alabama has the exact same problem as well. So here Idaho's like that. It's crazy. Moravian, who's in finals of D3 for NRC 4s. I think at one point half that team is on a marching band, which is when you have that, Saturdays are rough, especially in the fall. It's the reason why football, marching band, those types of things, that's the reason why CKL moved to Sundays, at least in the fall. I don't know I think the plan is to keep it that way in the spring, but I know there's some pushback because like Sunday nights going into Monday morning is rough on the East Coast for classes, but we'll see. I was going to say, I know Aiden's trying to start a team at that college, and if that happens, that will be insane, because that is the smallest school to ever, that would be the smallest school to ever have a college team. And I don't say that lightly, because the smallest school has was like 1,000, a little over 1,000. That first school was, oh my god, first school ever to have College Mario Kart was like a little over 2,000, so yeah. So, Milwaukee EKU, after the first race, it is tied. That is wild. 1, 5, 6, 7, 9, 12. Go watch Shadow stream if you aren't already. Have multiple things up there. Let's go, River. Love to hear it. Happy to hear that 6s is going really fine for you. Having a good time here. 4s is a different thing. Very different format. It plays similarly, but... It plays similarly to a point, but if you have experience in both, you will know it's the intricacies there. It can be different. It can be really different. I don't blame you. I think there are days when I work full time now, but there are days where I get home from work, and especially if it's like a night where I know there's a lot of matches on. It's my monitor, my laptop. I'll have multiple things up because I gotta watch every match. It's my own job, my own personal job, that I have to watch every team at least once, it feels like. So you gotta get the data in at some point. Moving on, then we gotta get the D4. Gotta keep things moving because I do want to talk about a few more things. D4 has had quite a few changes. We have locked ourselves into the playoff spots, but not without some drama here. Arizona has clawed their way up to the top seed overall. Long Beach has lost twice in the last week. And Arizona, the second team ever in College Mario Kart. Also the first West Coast team in College Mario Kart. They're getting their redemption arc, honestly. They had their first collegiate season in fall 2023. Did not go nearly as planned, and they basically ended up dropping despite having the biggest roster in the league at the time. Which, unfortunate, but things happen. But Arizona's now back, and that's so cool to see. Granted, it's really weird because, if you look at the collegiate Mario Kart scene, the 3 main admins are, Fitchy from Arizona, Ted Bear from Florida International, and myself, who is now an alum, but I graduated from Moravian. All 3 of those teams were kind of cooking at one point, so it's like, oh, look at this. It's like we're rigging it, but we're not actually rigging it, I swear, guys. Anyways, so Arizona's locked in that first seed. Over here, UCSD2, Trenton Clown College, has also had their redemption arc after not winning a single game last season. At least not legitimately winning a single game last season, and being victims of 2 180s, but from one player. That's insane. That'd be. I can't leak the script yet. If I leak the script now, I'm not even gonna get an ending yet. I'm gonna get the bad ending if I leak it right now, and I can't have that right. I can't have that yet. I'm trying to have. I need one banner. I need one. I need one collegiate thing. I don't get to play anything. Okay, UWM plus 20 after 2 races. Jeez. Okay. Labov probably has the script. The script would actually be Labov goes to insert college here, and that's actually going to change everything. So we have Arizona top seed, UCSD 2 reversing their script. It's the D4 is the redemption season. This really feels like it. The redemption division. Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, D4 is the redemption division. Florida was one of the favorites to win Division 4 in spring 2024, and then gathering issues upon gathering issues kind of plagued them. But now they're in playoffs, and CSULB, first time here, but they are making their name well, and I'm really happy to see that. Utah barely missed out on playoffs. I knew it was coming close to the wire, but Florida, big wins for them, able to just get in, and really happy for Florida. And FIU Gold had a big win against Utah, I think it was, which is crazy. Like, great stuff on them. Michigan had a rougher season, but Michigan is actually a really strong team. Don't let the record fool you. And same here with Iona. Iona had a really rough season, but there's a lot of things behind the scenes too. So that's unfortunate. But it happens. The playoff race here. Arizona, Florida, UCSD2 in Long Beach. So we're guaranteed one California team in D4 finals, which is expected. California really has a lot of great talent across all divisions, so we saw that coming. Arizona, Florida is such a great matchup because those teams are built so similarly. You have a really strong number 1 and a really great number 2. Basically, 6 against Hobby, Fitchy against Max. Earlier in the season, Arizona beat Florida pretty convincingly. So Arizona's the favorite, especially in a best-of-3 setting where there are certain courses Arizona are going to go and it's just going to work. Arizona has like an insane record on Baby Park. I can't believe I just said that sentence. But like one of their trump cards is legitimately Baby Park. Like, they are actually good at Baby Park. You know how hard it is to be good at Baby Park in a 6v6 setting? It feels impossible at times. But Arizona has cracked the code, at least in CKL Division 4. Florida has some great players on their end too, especially in their depth. Florida, I think, has a chance. I still think it goes towards Arizona, but Florida really has a chance. Okay, after 3 races, Milwaukee is up 44. They had a plus 20 on Moo Moo Meadows and now a plus 24 on Boo Lake. Really looking really good here for UWM fans. Triton Clown College and then CSU Long Beach. The problem here is if I say anything about UCSD2, the entire UCSD community is going to come after me, and they're going to report my stream, and I'm going to be banned on Twitch. So I might have to go UCSD2 here. But I think this matchup's going to be really close. I don't remember what their record was in the match they played, because when did they play? It was an inter-conference game, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Triton Clown College wins by 20. Barely wins by 20. Jeez. So, you never know. I think this one goes to 3. I think having Raspada is just such a good thing for Long Beach. Like, having basically the best player in the room. That's clutch. And they've looked so strong. And especially in a playoff setting where stamina is going to matter, and having that kind of like depth, or especially at the top, I think UCSD2 has struggled a bit in the second war. I think UCSD2 probably wins the first, but then Long Beach, I think, wins second. And I think the clutch factor from Raspada, I have them going. I have CSU LB in 3. I have Arizona in 2. and then we'll talk about finals because this one's gonna be good. It's oh my god, Arizona Long Beach would be so good. Arizona Clown College would also be really good. Even if okay, literally, no matter how you divide these up, we're gonna have a great D4 finals. I'm gonna try and make it a thing where if we can get every single playoff match streamed, we will. I don't know how that's going to work, but hey, maybe we're going to start we open up a second CKL channel just to have like 2 streams going on at once. Imagine. UA and 1? You never know. I could see it. I could see it. Could you imagine though, actually? I think, when was it? I forget what season it was, but there was a team which actually went not UA in 1, but I think a team technically did win in 1 game because one team forfeited the first game and then the team that won by forfeit then moved on to the second. It's like, yeah, it's insane. Second channel is CKL Red Zone. That'd be cool again to bring that back. It was UWO. Oh my god, it was UWO. It was, yeah. I tried not to remember that. UWO. Oh, that's a story. That's a story. That season was something. D3. D3. I need confirmation on this because the drama here is really crazy, knowing that there are still a couple matches left to be played. Thank you, LeBob, for giving me the answers here, because I knew there was something, especially looking at the wild card, because like, yes, NC State, Nebraska, these 2 teams are kind of impressive, kind of amazing. I think they're probably going to be the teams that move on into finals, but jeez, this is, wow, oh my god. I'm looking at this, and this is actually going to be really interesting statistically. Oh, so Tennessee is playing Win and In versus West Georgia right now. Okay, I need score reports as these come in. And like, if anyone is in these servers and has the bots, please drop them in chat. Milwaukee's up 56 after 4. Okay, that's looking really good for them. Yeah, I need someone to give me data on Tennessee, West Georgia. So they're winning in. Okay, that is rough. Okay, so if wow, that's interesting here. So I'm not surprised. Shadow's been cooking all season, especially on certain maps here. Okay, so basically, Tennessee winning in over West Georgia. Golden Mains, Golden Mains is then in if they beat West Georgia and Tennessee loses. RIT needs both these teams to lose, and you know what's crazy? Look at the plus minus. RIT's on the verge of missing playoffs with a plus 310. That's kind of insane. No, that's not kind of insane. That's ridiculous. That's actually a very notable statistic. Great stuff to RIT in their debut season, getting promoted up to D3 so soon, and then they looked really good. Like, even if RIT doesn't make it in the playoffs, that's a legitimately great start to their program. I'm really excited to see what RIT has. You will know one of them. RIT is led by Gabe Karts. He's one of the new members on Grounded Gaming. Yeah, that's Gabe's team. And then Danny is really good. Danny, I think, is a free agent. Every low div team watching this, or really any team watching this, Danny from RIT is one of the biggest names you're going to want to watch out for when free agency hits. That's like, if I will tell you that Gabe is a phenomenal player, and if Danny is basically the exact same player as Gabe from what I can see on the tables, yeah, you're going to want that player on your team. Oh, RIT is so fun to watch. I watched an RIT matchup like earlier this season, and jeez, they're so fun. And I'm gonna be so sad if RIT doesn't make playoffs purely because I really like them. And That is insane. That is so unfortunate. I know West Georgia had to forfeit a lot of matches this season. They had the FIU moment where FIU struggled to gather after the first week in fall 2023, and then yeah, stuff happened basically. But West Georgia, this is one of the high potential teams, I think too. It's a shame they couldn't gather because they struggled to gather in NRC as well. I think West Georgia might have lost like every single game technically, and I think a lot of those were by forfeit, which is just not fun. Not fun at all. So Tennessee is in. Tennessee taking over that 5th spot, or a 4th spot here. And that sets up a great matchup. By the way, UAH quietly in playoffs again. I know we didn't talk much about them, but great. This is a team. I'd be. Oh my god, we get UAH Nebraska. I think we're getting. Oh my god, we're getting UAH Nebraska. I need this on primetime. I need this rematch on primetime. This is such a good series, like, period. I think if you saw this on primetime earlier, that's only one part of this story. These are so good. Like, oh my god, Nebraska has so many good players. UAH is just so underrated, also. And I have a hard time not rooting for UAH because, like, man, this is a team. That's a great team. Green is really good. There was a point where Green was rocking Streetle in every war, which was awesome. And then you had Creo on the Funky Kong. I forgot who Creo played before Funky. But it was such a great thing to see here. And then Nebraska's really good too. And like, legitimately, either of these teams could win it all. I legitimately have faith in them. NC State, yes, is kind of the favorite by a lot right now, but they're not unbeatable. We've seen Nebraska take away NC State, so it's possible. Really, anything is possible here, and in playoffs especially. You've seen crazy upsets before, maybe not so much. What was the craziest CKL upset? Have we had crazy CKL upsets? We had upsets getting into playoffs, but I don't know if we ever had like a big upset in playoffs. We almost had it fall 2023 when Oklahoma beat Iona in game 1, and then they weren't able to finish off the set. But no, not in D3. In D2, no. D1. Not really, no. I can't really think of any big. If anyone has any and off the top of their head, feel free to drop it. But I'm having a hard time thinking of a big CKL upset in playoffs. In syllabus week, it happened all the time. Just look at Oklahoma every single syllabus week, where like, oh my god, win over Peach State Patriots, win over UCLA. They beat Michigan in syllabus week. Like, that was crazy. Creo was DK before Funky. Okay, that makes sense. 4, 5, 7, 10, 11. Okay, so yeah, Milwaukee's cooking right now, like crazy. That's insane. So good on them. So NC State, Tennessee. Okay, a lot of oh my god, a lot of Southeast representation here in Division 3. So D4 was West Coast. D3 is the Southeast, pretty much. Look at that. So NC State, Tennessee. NC State's the favorite right now, but Tennessee is good. Tennessee has 2 great players there. It's just a matter of, can they get that depth back? If they have that depth, then they can legitimately win this matchup. But NC State, they're just so good right now. I know there was like discussion like, oh my god, they were underseeded, and yeah, probably. But you live and you learn. NC State's trying to win D3. Showed they deserved it too. And like, Panda is slept on. I agree. I think Panda's one of the more underrated players here, and like when we eventually talk about like awards and all that, I think in D3, UT Panda has a shot to be like unsung hero or whatever the award was called. UT's a good time trialing team. In fact, there's a few of these teams are really good at time trialing. Rochester is really good at it too. Nebraska is really good at it. UAH is a time trialing and lounge team pretty much as well. A lot of these teams are actually really good at driving. It's more so the item play that's I think been defining the team so far, which is interesting because you have a team like where's it, West Georgia? Like West Georgia was one of those teams that was gonna excel on like item play and like team play rather than like their driving necessarily, but things don't work out like that. So that's it here. So we got NC State, we'll have Tennessee, we'll have UAH against Nebraska. Dang, these matchups are so good. Like is there even a bad matchup yet? Like, dang, this is awesome. Like none of these matchups feel bad, and that's so cool to see. Let's move on into D2. Shout out to D2, by the way, for getting all their matches in. I don't have to worry about anything. I can actually talk about all this. So, okay, everyone, we'll clap it up for D2. Thank you for making everyone's life here easier. Shout outs to all of them. And also, shout outs to this division for being pretty competitive for the most part overall. We had a few unfortunate things happen, like Morgan State forfeit a lot of their games, just not being able to gather. Heard some stuff there. Really hoping Morgan's able to play in the future, but I don't know. I know their future is really up in the air. But big storylines. One, Maryland is not Maryland is not unbeatable. Yes, they didn't have their entire starting lineup play, but Virginia Tech, that's so crazy. It's like, okay, Virginia Tech needs to win games to make it in the playoffs on their own. They control their own fates, and not only do they control their own fate, they kind of help control Maryland's fate. Maryland, if you guys don't know, Maryland's best player is Fate. I'm pretty sure you guys all know that, but just in case, just like a new player watching or anything. Yeah, okay, Milwaukee is up 50 at least, going into like second half. Ice up there, yeah. 1 point down to Fate. Yeah, that indiv chart was going crazy near the end. This is so cool. Yes, it looks like D2 is kind of a runaway in certain ways, because like Maryland is like, okay, they're kind of just up here, but Georgia's not far behind. Georgia's looking really good. If you don't understand how good Georgia is, watch a Georgia match. That is, I think you can arguably say they have the best communication across any collegiate team. It is actually insane hearing them in a war, because they're like, this is the best team in terms of like team play overall, and that is so cool to see. Very interesting how the different team dynamics in this div fight. That's so true, because a lot of these teams are kind of constructed differently. Georgia's one of those teams where it's like a lot of like, they are controlled by chemistry, by team play, and just coordination. UCLA, can we talk about how UCLA did this year? Like, UCLA is one of those programs that has constantly just been, they're so good, but things just didn't click. It's like season after season, it's just, yes, like these things just didn't come together. But it finally did here, and UCLA is looking really solid now. And that's so cool. Like, UCLA is just such a good team. Okay, so Milwaukee has won all 5 of the first 6 races in their match against EKU, and the one race they did not win was a tie. They are up 72 going into the second half. That is insane. Milwaukee is looking really good. Jeez, Milwaukee going in the playoffs, that'd be wild, because they had such a rough start to the season. Okay, I lied. They are plus 90 going into the last 5. I have to ask, is anyone's watching that stream? How many points is Shadow on right now? Because Shadow, or I'm not Shadow, but UWM has gotten first in every single race. I need to know what that indiv chart is looking over right now. Twitch censors that by default? What? Anyways, D2 feels a lot closer than the records seem to show. Bob was talking about it, but UWO was pretty close to making it in. Alabama was really close to making it in. Just a few things could have gone differently, and dang, man, we could have had a different playoff outlook. But this playoff outlook is so fun. Legitimately, this might be... If I'm gonna pick a division to watch, it might be Division 2. There are some amazing matchups. Oh, some of UWO's trialing now? Oh, that's great to hear. I was gonna say, I was waiting to see if UWO was gonna be breaking in, because I knew there was a few names there. There was like, oh, there's some pretty good talent. Right, there's some, especially here, there's some great stuff. That's a shame. So, UMD, UCLA, Georgia, Virginia Tech. Maryland is the favorite against UCLA. Yes, that is for sure. Having the fate difference is just massive. But UCLA is such a hard team to count out. There's just so much depth on UCLA, and the way they play is just, it's clicking at the right time. It took them a while to get in the playoffs, but being here now, I don't see them going down without a fight. I think Maryland wins this in 2. But if you see UCLA, if UCLA even gets close in this first game, I think that's going to be really big here in this second game. If you see UCLA needs a close match, if a close loss, if not a win, in game 1 to beat out Maryland. The last thing you need is to have any player on Maryland play with comfort, because if that team just gets comfortable, oh, it's gone. It's over. But you can beat Maryland. It's possible. Yes, Maryland's a favorite, but I've seen crazy things happen in collegiate. I've seen crazy things happen in playoffs, especially in like Mario Kart. So we were talking about how we don't have like that signature collegiate upset yet in like CKL playoffs, like the regulars in CKL like main season playoffs. Why not UCLA? That's probably how they're looking at it right now, and we'll see what happens. Georgia Virginia Tech might be legitimately the best matchup we have in playoffs, and I don't say that lightly. This one is so good. You have Georgia, a team that is just so well-rounded, where there's like no weakness on this team, and like there's not exactly a superstar player here, but it's like 4 amazing options just across that like leaderboard. 4 is saying it lightly, because this team is just good top to bottom. Then Virginia Tech. I think one of the biggest takeaways from Virginia Tech has been the emergence and the rise of Steamy. Steamy has evolved to be such an insane player over the last few. 85 after a 7th on Freeway. Gotcha. I was going to say, so dang. Unfortunate there, but hey. Milwaukee's still up 72 going into the last GP. Congrats. But yeah, Steamy on Virginia Tech is such a good indicator of how good VT has gotten. And it's not just Steamy. What's their name? I'm blanking right now, but I feel really bad about it. But yeah, look at this. Steamy's over Cynical in terms of indivs. I know, who would have thought that would be the case now. Vov24 is... This player is insane. Legitimately. Vov24 was the one I was thinking of. Just because, but like, the other one's really good too. Diggs is solid as well. But I remember seeing Vov24 come out of nowhere. And it's like, whoa. Whoa. It's just, jeez. Yeah, Steamy is great. He's over at Dark Matter now, and that, oh my god, this is that's funny. Georgia Virginia Tech is basically a Dark Matter in clan, because you have Luxy, you have Dynamo in Georgia, you have Vuv, you have Steamy on VT. This one's gonna be close. Oh man, I think Georgia's experience as like top to bottom wins him out, because yes, Ice and Cynical are the most experienced players overall, and I think Ice is definitely going to be the best player here, and Cynical is still solid, and Steamy has been an amazing number 2, especially when Cynical doesn't have the best game. But Georgia is so good at breaking down teams. It's just how they play. They are like, the coordination on Georgia is just, it's immaculate. They could be D1 on coordination alone. It's legitimate. They had the argument to be in Division 1. I remember hearing that. But so I'm gonna go with Georgia to win out, and then Georgia Maryland. We'll talk about that when it happens, because I think that one is upset potential. Maryland's gonna be the favorite, but I think Georgia, this really feels like it could be their time, because Georgia in the first season, fall 2023, was so close to breaking in the finals. They barely lost to Ontario United, and if they beat Ontario, you never know, they could have beaten Kutztown. They could have beaten Kutztown in that year. And the PSP Georgia story could be very different, but now Georgia's looking phenomenal. Looking absolutely phenomenal. So, I'm gonna go Georgia. I would love to see this to go 3. I want this on primetime if possible. I want all of these matches on primetime if possible, but we'll get to that if we get there. Love when my browser just goes like that. D1 is a doozy, and it shouldn't be a doozy, because D1 kind of looks straightforward for the most part. Okay, UWM is up 76 after 9, about to clinch. They're very close to clinching, and then they just had to beat Arizona State, I think. I don't know if this win or in, but no, I think if they lose, they're in. Oh man, we'll go back to D5 after this. So D1, this one is a doozy here. Waterloo, once again, these Canadian teams, they're coming in and they're just doing so well, and their players just phenomenal. They have one loss to Kutztown, but they have been so strong this entire season. Michigan. It's the story you've heard multiple times. Last season, I remember, let's rewind back to January. We find out that Michigan finds Whooper. Oh my god, short and Whooper goes whoop. What? And then wait, what do you mean they have Crow? What do you mean? That's insane. What is this? Mexican goes to Michigan also? They just found 3 players, and you had the Michigan top 4. And that was insane. But then Michigan had some issues, and then they kind of stumbled going in the playoffs, but they eventually made it in. Mexican comes back, and then they couldn't get it done against UCSD. UCSD just had it, and UCSD has had Michigan's number all year up to that, all semester. The lifetime record between UCSD and Michigan is 6-2 in UCSD favor. Michigan's first win was in syllabus week 2, which was in September, and that was by forfeit. So Michigan trying to rewrite their story. They win in fall 2023 as part of House Divided when it was Michigan and Michigan State. They come close in syllabus week 1 and they lose in Grants. Come close again in the spring, and then spring season gets second. Syllabus week 2 rolls around. They get upset by Oklahoma in semis, and then have to settle for 3rd place. I remember this as forget how it goes. It's one of my favorite Smash quotes ever from the commentary desk. After PPMD wins Apex like 2014, the second place, third place, second place, third place. Heartbreak, heartbreak, heartbreak. Michigan is trying to do what they haven't been able to do before and finally win the banner as like a solo school, as a one team, one program's team. But road's not going to be easy for them because this playoff race is wild. You mean to tell me, you see how close this playoff race was? So, Kutztown is guaranteed. Kutztown stumbled a bit. They lost both games, I think, going into this last week. One of them notably being losing to Oklahoma, who, geez, Oklahoma almost had one of the craziest last weeks ever. But then Kutztown, they stumbled a bit, but they're in playoffs, and that's all that matters. Because think about the preseason projections. Kutztown was not projected top 5 or top 4. They were looked at as the number 5 seed, which was crazy. We were like, oh my god, a playoffs without Kutztown? Who would have guessed? But Kutztown says no. And top Pennsylvania school, once again, by technical, Bappu, Bo, and then obviously Stepien, Anomaly. Dawn's been playing well. MC's great in the backup as well. Kutztown's in. That's all that matters for them. FIU is watching tonight's matches with a lot of importance. And they're paying close attention. Okay, so UWM, breaking news here. Wisconsin is up 80 after 10. So unless EKU gets 2 top 6s, UWM wins the game. And even if it's impossible for UWM to lose. So I think UWM is in a great spot right now. Anyways, you have FIU coming in barely, yeah, man, as a preseason favorite. They come in after tearing up Division III last semester. They come in with some big recruits. This is like, you look top of the recruiting board pretty much stuff. Bring in Green, bring in Gank, and then things just didn't go their way. There's some personal stuff come up, and then just led to FIU not being able to gather their best lineups. So they're at 5-5, but there's a chance. There's a chance that they make it in still. UCSD, one of the most historic teams we've had after a near flawless spring 2024 campaign where they got first in syllabus week 1, beating Michigan, and like, oh my god, yeah, UCSD, like, oh, they finally did it. That's insane. Like, a Cali school did it. And then they beat Michigan again in Division I finals. I'm like, yeah, credit they deserve. And then they go into this like, yeah, how are we still saying UCSD is like kind of like underrated in a way? But that's how it felt. But UCSD, a couple gathering issues. Like, they had 2 forfeit losses, which they could be 6-2 for all we know. It could have been solidly in, but they have a couple of unfortunate losses, and they're finding themselves on the hot seat. If they lose both games, they're out, which would be wild. Basically, if they win once, they're in. And but look at their schedule. They play Michigan in a little more than an hour, and then they play UNI. And yes, UNI is 0-9, but you've seen crazy stuff. I think if I heard right, Top Hat Bear isn't playing for UCSD this week. I could be wrong, but jeez, okay, yeah. If I read that right, yeah. Top Hat Bear's not playing for UCSD, and the thing is, UCSD is deep, but no Top Hat, who's been like that, like number 1 option for them this season. That really does hurt. Because yes, you have Flight is great, Astra's great, Super FX is obviously amazing, while Louise is amazing, and Maple Slash Luna is like great as well. And UCSD players are just so good. Missing Top Hat is rough, but you've seen stuff before. You never know. you never know. Can't underestimate anyone here, but we'll see. We'll see. And it's actually interesting because like Kutztown has to wait for UCSD's night to end before they can figure out matches. None of these playoff matches are set until UCSD's matches are over. Because if you look at the playoff turns, it's like this. Yes, Waterloo and Michigan are guaranteed number 1 and number 2 for now. But think about it here. That could be scary. Scary hours for both teams, really. In terms of who you would rather see. Like, do you want to see Kutztown? I don't think anyone wants to see Kutztown. I definitely don't want to see UCSD in the first round. But you never know. I think if you're going to see upsets, you're going to see upsets in D1, maybe. Upsets, quote unquote, because like really, and any other, if you restart the season multiple times, either of these teams could be number 1 overall. Waterloo, that core is so strong. Like, got Boss Yoshi, you got Iona, Ignite, Big P. That's so good for them. UCSD is like insane. UWM wins. That's huge for them. The dream is alive. It might be happening. That's actually insane. I have to see what Rumble said, but so I know Rumble had like a thing here. Yeah, I think UWM I think is in. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure UWM has just clinched playoffs, so congratulations to Milwaukee if that's the case. I need Rumble to confirm stuff for me later on, because if that's the case, congratulations. But we'll see. But realistically, if you're a D1 team, who do you want to see? Like, what matchup would you rather have? Do you want to fight any of these teams? Really? No. Like, no, there's no easy matchup. I'll tell you, Michigan Kutztown would be such a wild. Oh my god, Michigan has whoever Michigan plays, that has to be streamed, right? Because like, geez, because Michigan Kutztown, that rivalry is great. Michigan UCSD, that rivalry is also great. And then Waterloo, yeah, I need Waterloo matches streamed more often. Also, God, these matches are so good. When the night ends and we have a better idea and we know for sure who plays who, then we'll be able to figure out who's going where. For the meantime, though, too early to call. But regardless, I feel like we're destined for a Michigan Waterloo finals, and that would be such a story. Waterloo coming in, they could be the second Canadian team to win D1. They could make it 2 out of 3 seasons where Canada wins Division 1 CKL. Michigan can finish the story. Finally win it all. After being like kind of like seen as like a pseudo villain of the scene for just recruiting like amazing, they could then win. And then be kind of look as the hero, like, yes, it's like finally they do it. Get that monkey off their back, but time will tell. We have to see how D1 shakes up first. Back to D5, because I'm not going to input the scores here, but Milwaukee's going to be 4-5. EKU is 4-6. Milwaukee now has tiebreaker over EKU. Yeah, Milwaukee's in. Yeah, so Milwaukee had to win by at least 50 to have at least tiebreaker going in, and they did that. Plus 68 win from my sources here, aka River. So Milwaukee looks like they clinched playoffs, and that is wild. We get to see Milwaukee UTSA, and I will tell you, Milwaukee has the best coaching staff in college Mario Kart right now. I think that's without question. You have Danny Fathom and you have Mangalore. You know how crazy of a coaching staff that is? Like, Jesus. You have like two of the heads of US Mario Karts, let alone the fact that Danny Fathom has played on some insane teams. Mangalore, obviously, playing on TM, and now also have the YouTube channel, and just, dude, they're everywhere. That's crazy. Wild stuff, really. River, did you happen to see the? I don't know if the table's up yet, but if anyone has this, I need to know how much Shadow scored, because Shadow is on a legendary run here. And geez, look at this. The index chart is crazy in D5. We'll move on back to the main screen. So, I don't know how many other matches happened. I'm waiting on tables to come through, because really there haven't been a lot of tables. But they just received the info now. Oh, they just received it now? That's awesome. That was a crazy match to watch. EKU UWM, I would imagine. Apparently there's people gathered over 50cc lounge. That is wild. That's great to hear. Great to hear. Okay, so Shadow and Nuka. Shadow is the best player in that division. Like, no doubt. Like, I think that was the consensus going in. Milwaukee had a chance purely because, like, we knew Shadow. Like, all of collegiate staff knew Shadow. Shadow has been popping off with Dark Matter, going off, and then playing in the LAN scene as well. We knew that it was possible. And geez, Milwaukee is gonna break in the playoffs after a really rough start to the season, regardless if they end up 4-6. Like, what a turnaround. What a turnaround. They got some clutch wins. They went 2-0 against KIL, which is huge. 138. Oh, Shadow, what are we doing? That's below average. Look at that's below the 141 average. Shadow, what are we doing? My fantasy. Regardless, though, it's insane. That's wild. Yeah, appreciate you, River, for playing Messenger there. But yeah, great stuff. I gotta see how many other matches are happening, because we'll have prime time in a little over an hour. That was announced, right? Someone did announce that before I did, right? Please tell me someone did. If not, I have to make sure we have everything set up for that. Angle's running stream. It'll be Bob casting. Maybe Wisp also on the mic. If not Wisp, it'll be Ted Bear. I have to check on that. My throat is getting shot, so I'm not casting until playoffs, most likely. Oh, I cast on Saturday. Speaking of which, if you are in the Maryland, Virginia, DC area, please go to Super Capital Clash this Saturday in Ashburn, Virginia. Go to that LAN. Should be a great time. They're getting ready to play? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would imagine. Oh, you were the team that did that. That is true. That is true. I remember, like, oh my god, wait. I remember hearing, like, wait, Shadow did MVP? What is this? Like, that was wild. Okay, I gotta update stream title for, That is wild. Good job. Okay, I gotta update stream title for Collegiate KL for primetime tonight. Is there an ad manager on here? D1 Triton Turnpike. I can't spell Turnpike versus Michigan Wolverines. By the way, if you guys aren't already following the Collegiate Mario Kart channel, please do so. They're at 209 followers, so keep that up. Also, if you guys want to follow my channel too, please do. I don't have any goals yet, but if we get something, maybe I'll do something. I don't know yet. Yeah, let me get this Collegiate Karting League. So yeah, oh, 209. Thank you guys for following that channel already. Please do. Always happy to see that from you guys. Yeah, so yeah, be sure to follow Collegiate KL on, I think it was, pretty sure it's twitch.tv/collegiatekl, and then twitch.tv/spicyBM. Please do. Great stuff overall. Okay. I did want to ask, is there interest in call-ins? Good. And just to like talk or ask questions pretty much. If so, I'll set up like a Discord call, or I'll drag people into like the Discord call, and then I'll drag people into a certain Discord call, and then we'll be able to just talk college Mario Kart stuff. If no, I'm gonna be streaming for maybe like 30 more minutes or so. So whatever it is. If anyone has questions, feel free to ask them now, either in chat, or if you want to call in, just let me know and we'll get something set up. If you have questions about the other divisions you want to ask, feel free to. You don't know, that's what I'm here for. The whole point of this stream is meant to help players understand more divisions, or really start to tell what's happening in like across the scene, because I will tell you, there's a lot of stuff that happens. You know, I've already talked about D2. Yes, we talked about D2. Go back. Here we go. Don't worry. My thing is glitched out. So, oh man, my thing is very glitched out. We're D2. Give me a second. Because Dynamo asked. D2 is wild. I think D2 is the craziest and maybe the most fun division to watch this season, especially for playoffs. I think, and I legitimately think the best playoff matchup to watch is going to be Georgia and Virginia Tech. And Georgia is a team, top to bottom, where there's just like no glaring weakness, and they have, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, coordination from that team, as well as the communication. Like, I seriously recommend anyone go watch like a Georgia match if you haven't already. See, guys, where Stingray Olu, go watch VODs from their channel, because geez, Georgia matches are insane. Plus, you get to hear some funny stuff from like Dynamo also. But Georgia is just such a strong team. They're such a scary matchup for a lot of other opponents. So it's like typically what you've seen in collegiate is that like it's been a bunch of players. There's like top players kind of just run and carry their team. Georgia has never really been that way. They've had strong players, yes, but it's never really been. There hasn't really ever been a thing where Georgia has just felt weak as a result of that. Hello, Shadow. Congratulations on making playoffs, by the way. I'm pretty sure I did the thing right, and I actually understood that works. Well, Roy the Miss Magius. How are we doing all today? Great stuff. Great stuff from really everyone here. Oh, kills as well. Yeah, great stuff really from the UWM teams. By the way, just want to give a quick shout out to them because they played absolutely. As the Guilty Gear soundtrack starts to come on now, but yeah, Georgia Virginia Tech is gonna be such a phenomenal matchup. Legitimately, one of my like, I think this. Can we get this streamed? I need this one streamed, like really badly. I don't care if it's just like a red zone thing where we just only see gameplay, or if we have this on commentary, because that match is gonna be so good. Yeah, the goal is gonna be we get as many matches streamed as possible. Actually, I'll see if I can set up like a forum or something for all of the I'll set up like a form, seeing like going into like the next week, what's the availability for every player, for every stream host, as well as all the casters and the teams, and we'll see if we can get every match streamed or as many streamed as possible. Have some like streaming blocks. If they can't play, if they can't stream during those times, then that's perfectly fine. But oh my god, thank you, Luxy. What half of your favorite commentator duos? The match. Imagine I get like a co-host. I guess I get Sunset as like my co-host, and then bang, bang. But anyways, Georgia VT. Oh, that's gonna be such a good matchup. I was going to say, why is Georgia and Virginia Tech just a Dark Matter Inclan? I talked about that earlier, so but it's like legitimately, you guys just don't know how you guys play at this point. That's gonna be wild. That's such a crazy matchup. But this is such a good matchup. VT, Ice, Steamy especially. Steamy is insane now. And then you have Cynical as like your... If Cynical's a third option, is just wild to think about. But like Georgia has Stingray, Taka, Luxy, Dynamo, Shy Guy. Like there's just so many great players from both these teams. Vuv has gotten really good on VT. Diggs has gotten solid as well. These teams, like, they're clicking at the right time. I think this one might actually go 3 games. I hope this one goes 3 games. I honestly want Georgia and Virginia Tech to go all 3 games because I think the community deserves it. That's gonna be one of the best matchups possible. Yes, Luxy. Yes, Luxy. That is exactly what I meant when I said that it's a Dark Matter Inclan. I basically just mentioned. I basically just referenced that. So yeah, it's good. Okay. I hope it does because you can only play 2 of them tomorrow. Oh no. Oh no. Gotcha. Okay, so Wisp is in. So we got Wisp and Bob on the... Me having to run stream, do some extreme coordination stuff while also streaming. Ironic, right? Okay, so great stuff here. No, we don't play 3 in a row. That is fair. That is fair. Anyways, any questions then from the chat here? Anything y'all want me to discuss in further detail? Because geez, you guys a lot. Oh, okay. So this one's confirmed now. Nice. Thank you, Rumble Master. I think my camera is... Yeah, it's unfortunately not. You don't get to see it, but this is Rumble Master, otherwise known as Rumble. Shout out Rumble from D5, Oklahoma. We can... Okay, this will be, Yo, that's gonna be wild. We're gonna have 2... We're gonna have a primetime match and Milwaukee ASU in the next hour. Jeez, okay. Have 2 streams up, guys. You're gonna need it. Okay, everyone also be sure to go follow Shadow with 3Ws 1221. They're gonna be streaming their next matchup as well. I love when you guys watch from you guys please keep telling me where you're watching like your Mario Kart stuff. That's so fun because I think it was last fall, I remember getting messages of people would watch my like recap stream while in the gym, and I'm like, yo, that's so flattering. That's so flattering, guys. Probably one of the other craziest thing was, I think it might have been Rumble actually saying, I think it was Rumble who said they were watching my stream while waiting for their table on Valentine's Day. So, yeah. Whenever you guys, please feel free, whenever you're watching this stream, report from where you're watching from. It's gonna be great. Also, guys, be sure you keep following every other channel here, like, within chat. Like, seriously. There's a lot of great college Mario Kart stuff, and we'll try and get stuff going. Roy is totally not a UWM. Totally not. Okay, so it'll be UTSA, UWM, and the winner of that plays UI. Jeez. Why is D5 so good? D5 is legitimately an electric division now. You have Milwaukee, who's playing hot. UTSA looking to kind of have a redemption season, and then Idaho kind of bursting out onto the scene and being like the first one of these. It's like the first like truly new team in a while to make an impact like this since like Iona in fall 2023, I would say. Yeah. So, dang, all these teams are so good. I don't know. Guys, I'm having a hard time rooting for teams here because I really like Idaho, I really like UTSA, and I really like UWM. I can't say they all win because if you tie, you have to play 4 more races. But I hope you guys do know that. If you tie in a in a playoff format, you like after 12 races you have 492 each. You have to play 4 more races, and then it determines the winner of that game. You still have to play the best of 3 though. By the way, I know there's a few teams here who are newer to like competitive. If you have any questions about the format, the playoff format, please let me know because there are a few rules that you do want to mention. Notably, the track selection rule. I don't know how much that's been explained to you guys, but it's the same thing here. Like it's same thing at MKU. Like you can only pick a track once in the best of 3. So let's say you go Mario Kart Stadium. I can't believe I'm saying that because there's realistically no teams picking Mario Kart Stadium in the first war. But if you pick Mario Kart Stadium like race 1 and it gets it, you can't pick Mario Kart Stadium for in the second game or the third game. Just want to make sure everyone understands that before I hear the rules and all that. Granted, if both teams agree to not play with that rule, then you can. But imagine there. A code secret account. My code secret account. Oh my god. But there's that. I'm trying to think of any other playoff rules that you guys should know about beforehand. I don't think I have anything. I just went with the first track in the game. I could have named any other track, but I won't lie, MKS, I really like MKS. MKS has a soft spot in my heart. Because that was the first track I ever got cursed out on. By like one of my close friends. That's a story for another day, but I have a soft spot for MKS. Same with like really the entire Mushroom Cup with the exception of like Sweet Sweet. I like Riverside as well. I do like Cheeseland though. I won't lie to you guys. My track taste is not it. I have a tier list. I don't want to bring it up right now though. Trying to see any other things. If chat has any questions, by the way, feel free to drop them. It can be college Mario Kart related. It can be Mario Kart related. It doesn't have to be anything related. So, as long as you're not asking me questions about, like, your school stuff, I think you're okay. There's a very low chance I will be able to help you with any school-related things. Purely because I don't think I studied most of what you guys did, so... Fair warning. Once again, quick reminder, we will have there's a couple matches coming up. Milwaukee, Arizona State is at 0-0. Same with UCSD, Michigan, which is on CKL Primetime. CKL Primetime is going to be casted by LeBob and Wisp. Stream ran by Engel, so great stuff there. Yeah. You need to buy DLC. That's so real though. D5 result came in. Oh, Shadow's here. We get to talk about this. Shadow, what the heck was with the 138? It's below average. What are you doing? Shout out to Donkus and Royces though. Really coming up clutch. Kills in Nuper and Iwo. All great players as well. Oh, I remember hearing about the EKU captain fiasco. That's unfortunate. Shout out to Tennessee also clinching playoffs tonight. Could you imagine if this curse works and Shadow actually drops a 47 in the next war? Dawkins and Royce pulling their way too much. You hate to see it. You hate to see when your teammates do good. I understand that. EKU, yeah, EKU started off really strong. I think there was a couple things that happened behind the scenes, which is like really unfortunate. But I hope EKU comes back. But yeah, EKU's when I was surprised because EKU was looking to be a favorite to be maybe even win the whole thing, but now pick your poison. UTSA, Idaho, Milwaukee. It's too early to call. Too early to call. Tennessee has clinched, so that's great for them. D1 is not finalized yet. I think the only one that isn't finalized yet is D1. D2 is finalized. D3 is finalized because Tennessee has won. Hello, Fates! Oh, great. Now this is awesome here. Oh, that was your first game with Top LU? That's your first game with Top LU. Oh my god. That is wild. Great stuff, though. D5 is set. Do a flip on stream? I can't do that, if I'm being honest with you guys. Not only can I barely do a flip, but there's also no space right now. Wait, I got an idea. If I... Does that count? Does that count? Does that count? Do a barrel roll. Basically, yeah. I just did a barrel roll on stream. Hit you Yeah, that's... you know what? I realized I could have just, like, took my camera and just rotated it around. But no, I decided to actually just take my camera physically and just turn it around. But yeah, boom. There's the flips. We'll count it. We'll count it. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to Fate jumping in the chat. Maryland did the smart thing and lost in the last week because in MKU the tradition is if you go 10-0 you just for some reason you lose in finals. Maryland decides, okay, we're gonna lose early so we don't lose in playoffs, and that's exactly just brilliant for them. Because Maryland, in all seriousness, Maryland's like really strong. Like, jeez, that Maryland lineup is so insane. Like, Maryland just, you have Fate, who's obviously amazing. Then you have like Goofy, who's playing well. Asa's playing insane. If you look at that roster, and like, oh my god, Maryland's so good. I need Maryland UCLA streamed. Also, I need all of this streamed. Speaking of which, if you're in playoffs, I need your match streamed. I don't care what division. I don't care what if you're expecting to win or not. I need D6 streamed. I need to see Buena Vista, Auburn. Yeah, Maryland ends it on purpose. Let's go. Okay, Maryland's streaming. Let's go. Let's go. I need UTSA, Milwaukee streamed. I need this streamed. I need this streamed. Every stream match possible. We'll do the Mangalore set. We'll have 12 games going on at the same time. 12 different POVs. Probably not actually that, but for my sake, please, if we can get like not all on the same day, that'd be insane. Just to spread it out a little bit. But we'll get this. I'll get the stream team ready to cast like that kind of stuff, because I think that's gonna be electric. I know. Am I allowed to? I can't. I don't know if I'm allowed to leak the next land on stream, even though I know what it is. It just hasn't been announced yet because it's like we're waiting on Danny to give the TO the logo. Allegedly, that's what the TO told me. Part of me wants to just throw the collegiate. I'm waiting. If I can just. If I wait for CKL to go live, or if Shadow wants to go live early, then I can just raid you at the end in like 10 minutes or so. There's a very cool one in 3 months' time. Speaking of lands, there's quite a few good ones coming up. You have Super Capital Clash coming up this Saturday in Ashburn, Virginia. Go to that if you're like the Maryland, DC, Delaware, Virginia, West Virginia area. Oh, yeah, we'll raid stream there. Later this month you have what's it? Try the Line. It's the Chicago land. It's like on the It's like the 24th, I think it is. That one's great if you're in the Midwest. So go to that land. If you're in the Southeast, Athens Dash is coming back again. It's like Athens Dash 5. You go watch that. Or go to that if you're in the Southeast. If you're in the Northeast, Broad Street Blur. We have 3 lands going on in the 24th. That's kind of crazy. That's actually kind of crazy. Speaking of which, yeah. Well, yeah, there's 3 lands I think going on at the same time on Sunday the 24th. Isn't that kind of wild? That is. Popcorn ready, yeah. We're playing Worldlands. Oh, we might raid then. Go watch Primetime at OO. Yeah, you guys should watch Primetime at OO. That one's gonna be so good. I'm gonna have gonna be watching 2 matches. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. You think you'll be doing default time for semis? Oh, I love how we're already talking about playoffs here. That's awesome. Yeah, get your matches scheduled, and then we'll see if we can get things going. Do I have Jamboree? I do not have Jamboree yet. I'm waiting on its either. I almost got it when it hit a sale, and then the sale got sold out quick. But no, I didn't buy Jamboree. Waiting stuff. Are we guaranteed playing? No, not yet. I think. Because let me think about this. If UCSD wins twice, I think they'd have to beat you, and they would have to beat you and I. I think you play UCSD, and I have to see how the tiebreaker works. You're not guaranteed yet, I'll say that, but if you go 5-5, okay, let's. Okay, guys, pretend you're not seeing how the table gets updated. Let's say. Okay, there's a good chance. It's a good chance. Fix Bo's Indivs? What happened to Bo's Indivs? Because I legitimately, I haven't been keeping track of the tables. I've been trying not to touch them at all this season. So what happened to Bo's Indivs? Jesus. Pretend you're not seeing this. I'm gonna have to reference all these tables then. I'll check it later. Probably off streams like these. Oh wait, I have to fix Luxie's Indivs. Give me a second, Luxie. . 'Cause 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 ' Marcoco's cool at least. It'll be totally okay if I just do this. You need a 0 at the end. Okay, where is Georgia? Okay, guys, new Indiv chart came out. Luxatone is averaging 110. And now I will change this back before I accidentally mess everything up. But you saw it on stream. You saw it on stream, guys. Jeez, Pete with the 151. Oh my god. Okay, quick things. I'm ending stream about 5 minutes in so I can get a couple things set up for prime time and also start getting ready to watch some games. Any last questions from chat before we start wrapping up? Will I do a flip next stream? We'll see. We'll keep it a surprise. Wait, if I just... Wait, does this count? I don't know if that counts, but... as a flip. Or wait. Wait, hold on. I love being able to just drag my camera. That counts as a... that counts for something, right? But yeah. We'll keep that going then. Yeah. Netter, just a few more reminders. Dang, I wasn't planning on streaming for an hour 40. I was planning on streaming for like an hour tops. I gotta get... Oh yeah, guys, if you have any Rex on like emotes, let me know. I probably should actually start putting stuff in. Same with like rewards and like stuff like that. Cause like I don't know. For some, I think people actually have channel points, and I feel bad. I haven't actually put anything on here yet. I'm about to do a flip as a goal, and I'm looking at my bed right now. I was like, can I even realistically do a flip? I don't know if I have the space to, but we'll see. Okay, D2's looking solid. Watching this. Raid time. It's about to be, yeah. We better be talking about raid, like raiding other channels and not raid Shadow Legends. I am not playing that game again. That was once too many. God, that game is bad. Shoutouts to this table, by the way. Milwaukee, EKU. Great stuff from both these teams. Milwaukee moving on in the playoffs then. And an EKU, great start to their season. Yeah, it's called Raid. Doesn't actually have gameplay. It's pretty much just auto battles. I think that's one of the few VODs I deleted from my stream, my channel. I refuse to have that stain on me. Okay, casting channel. Hey, Short, if you're watching, can you DM me your lineup? Because I actually forgot. I forgot to ask Angle for it. And I have like a prep thing that I just never got a chance to actually fill out. Yeah, so we'll leak this because like it's a personal project for me. But if you're on the stream team, there's a little prep card here that I do for them where it has like information, lineups, CKL history, pretty much all that jazz. Thank you so much, Short. And I have your logo and all that. I'm pretty sure Angle has your streams then, so y'all should be good, but thank you. Makes my life easy and I get to add this. The UGA, yeah, the UGA card, whenever it is on there, is pretty much just Luxie. Yeah, let's be real, it is just Luxie. Last year, it was just a spoon. Now it's Luxie. Or in Summer Switch Up, it was also just a spoon. Okay, let me be sure a few things. When is the next Around the Super Horde? I think it's going to be right before playoffs. Do not quote me on that, because we're in the planning process for it. We were considering doing it today, but the only reason I don't host Around the Super Horde like on here is because I also talk about NRC stuff, and I don't know, and I don't think I'm allowed to talk about NRC on Collegiate Karting League streams officially. So stay tuned. We're probably going to have actually have Around the Super Horde coming up within like a week or so. We'll get that started planned. But we'll say if you guys, I don't think we're gonna actually have a best of 3, but it's gonna be a bit harder when streams because of best of 3. But like, imagine, we'll see. I'll have to see that. I'll work something out. Okay, that's gonna be wrapping up stream though for us. Always a pleasure talking with you guys. Remember, you got UWM ASU coming up at 00 on Shadow's channel, which we are rating, and then on the Collegiate Karting League channel, we got Michigan UCSD. Absolutely electric matchups. Watch both of them. They're both going to be great. I'm gonna try and stream again sometime next week. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Always a pleasure doing this with you. Have a good night, guys.